Okay, welcome to another episode of Crime Pays Brazilian Gonzo Botany Journal. Here we are in northern Minas Gerais state. You can see we're looking at a substrate of this white quartzitic sand, which has been weathered from this very iron-rich, very old sandstone, which I believe has been slightly cooked, slightly metamorphosed. It's created a very interesting substrate. It's very dry. We're very far inland, very far from the Atlantic coast. We're going to get some cool cacti, a lot of drought deciduous shrubs, because this is the winter dry season. Anyway, we're going to check out the plants growing here, give the landscape a nice rectal exam, and hopefully you'll learn a thing or two. Here we go. Nice imbricate-leaved xeric melastome, Melastomataceae, the family. You can see those bizarre dimorphic anthers right there with those attachments. You can see they got like a little sickle that comes down with those poricidal anthers that shoots a jet of pollen at the pollinator, which is a bee's stomach, and then what's luring the bee in is those yellow anther appendages up top that produce what we call feeder pollen. Got a nice stem photosynthetic euphorb right here. See those Euphorbiaceae flowers with those distinct cyathial bracts. Look at that swollen ovary with the three-parted style at the base. You got a couple leaves right there. For the most part, it's just using that stem to photosynthesize, and it would probably bleed latex if I were to break it. Look at this sedge. Legenocarpus is the genus here, and it's been everywhere in Brazil. God knows how many species are in it. You could probably do a search on INAT for that. Glaucous blue leaves, kind of spiky, kind of mean. Been stabbed in the ass with them a few times. You know, they come together at the base, and it forms these nice. Look at the old leaf bracts, too over curved and everything. Forms a nice little mat. It's very successful here ecologically. This white sand is hell to film in. Bleaches all the photos. Also very successful here is the genus Velosia, which this is. Velosiaceae is the family, order Pandanales. Very species-rich genus here, just like Eriocalaceae, just like Asteraceae, and they can completely dry out. They're poikilohydric plants. They're resurrection plants. There's the, that looks like that fruit capsule didn't mature. There's another fruit capsule. Looks like a weevil got to it, maybe. So these things are still alive, just crispy and just waiting for a little bit of moisture, much like Mirothamnus, really weird plant from Namibia, much like a lot of ferns do, and Selaginellas. Look at this guy just popping up above that sand. That sand, of course, is translucent and allows light to penetrate, you know, maybe half an inch below the surface. So you'll see a lot of cacti semi-submerged. Look at this. Just see how they do that? Look at that Discocactus. See that? Just barely poking its head up. At the top, you can see that that cephalium forming. See all the fuzz down there? Anyway, you can see it barely poking its head up. This plant right here looks like it would be some sort of paper daisy, some sort of Asteraceae. But when you look at those flower heads and you look close up at them, they don't quite look like a composite. If I can hold that still for a minute. You don't see the phyllaries. It doesn't look, you don't see those styles poking out. That's because this is Amaranth. This is Gomphrena, which is, I've seen quite a few different variations on this genus of Amaranthacea in Brazil. And they'll fool you at first. They'll make you think they're a composite, but they don't get as, they're not as eloquent. You know, they don't get as brightly colored, and you certainly don't see those forked styles poking out of those little flowers. Look at this fucking Eriocalaceae. Look at it. What is it, a Pilosocereus of some kind? Looks almost dead. Look at this. That's kind of a problem. That's problematic. Como se dice, this cactus, this is a little unearthed. So I don't know what happened there, but we're going to try and I have to get a rock. Put a rock right here, hold the sand, and basically put them back. Yeah, there you go. There you go, pal. Give them a little bit of cover right there. So you could see the old the strata layers, the layers at which that the sediment was originally deposited, I don't know, 500 million to a billion years ago. Look at these rubbery red leaves. It's a Keelmyra. Calophyllaceae is the family. Used to be Inclusiaceae. Look at that, rubbery, flushed red. A lot of members of this genus are actually dormant right now for the dry winter. They got big pink flowers on them, like you might see over there. That's a Keelmyra over there. Got a nice Camacrysta here. You could see the flowers open. Is the thing glandular? No, it's just scabrous and waxy. A lot of variation in Camacrysta. I've seen some that have stipitate glands on them. Got that, 1990s High Times magazine effect. There's the flower. You could see it's got kind of a door on the side of it. That one petal is kind of odd shaped like a sickle. Obviously, I assume pollinated by bumblebees. Looks like it's just got the right size opening for it. Anyway, Camptosema is very species rich down here, and a lot of them are relatively large shrubs. Right here we got a member of a Lycnophora group, Vernonioideae. You could see that's the subfamily of Asteraceae, Vernonioideae. The ironweeds subfamily, you can see those old flower heads, those old Asteraceae flowers in there. Basically done. Look at those leaves. Look, almost like a rosette, like a stalked rosette, covered in wool, immensely tomentose. Perfect for this very hot, dry environment. It's fucking winter here. It's winter now. It's like 80 degrees. Anyway, there's the flowers. Then at Keel, Myra, Calophyllaceae, multiple stamens, 5 petals. See how they kind of overlap each other. And then very distinct is that 3-carpelled ovary. You can see that 3-lobed fruit. There's the back of the flower. You can see those cup-shaped sepals. This thing's everywhere. One of the most common plants we've been seeing in this Cerrado vegetation. They've got a pretty stocky root down there. Oh, this is nice, right? This is a rare one. This is an endemic. This is Orthophytum gramigolense, another dryland bromeliad. Look, looking a little stressed there, this whole colony, but there's one with that vivid center. You can see how it's just trying to attract pollinators even though it's not flowering yet. Orthophytum gramigolense after Gramagol, Gabagool. Wonderful little town. God, that's so cool. Look at those margins on those leaf blades. And see how they look at it, just like some euphorbs do, where they get that trying to attract, using different coloration on their leaf blades to attract pollinators to where the flowers will be, even though it's not flowering yet. So you could see what's happening. So they're sending out, this is a colony, they flower, they die after flowering, they flower and then die, and then they send out a pup. You get these subterranean rhizomes. That's where you get that little colony effect. So probably all the same genetic individual for the most part. Look, nice Discocactus. Can you even see it? Despite the bleaching, the snow blinding of the, look at that, the little pseudophyllum growing in this shade. That's a happy little guy. Growing beneath the Camptosema. Alright, without going in there to fuck it up with my footprints, you can see there's Discocactus everywhere. See that? And see how they kind of remain buried? They probably germinate beneath the surface in the summer wet season. There's tons of Velosia everywhere. God, it's such an epic habitat. There's burrowing owls that live here too. You can see their tracks everywhere. We've seen them last time, we came through in the morning, but might be too hot for them. It's a little later in the afternoon now. Oh, this is nice. Look at that candelabra looking thing with the succulent stems that's drought deciduous right now. Holy shit, gonna have to go see what that is.
It's Wunderlichia nice.
Anyway, here's a species of Micranthoscereus. Really cool species of cactus. You can see those pink hummingbird pollinated flowers. Very obviously hummingbird pollinated flowers sticking out, coming out of those areoles towards the top of the stem. Look at the new growth too. Look at the difference in coloration of spines. Nice little colony of them right here. Actually, it's a single individual. It's multiple stems. That's cool. And of course, the Velosia. The Velosiaceae. Such an epic and underappreciated and little known family of plants. See the old recurved leaf blades on those stems. Such a cool plant community here. And look at that. That rock is black from lichen. It's not its natural. It's not au naturel. It's not its natural color. That's a living surface. Look at that. Bird-pollinated flowers and bird-dispersed fruits. You could see those pink. What else but a bird beak could get in there and rip that thing out? The conspicuous pink fruit with all those tiny black seeds inside. Birds and cactus. A love story. Birds and cacti, excuse me. We believe in proper grammar here at CPBBD. Ooh, look at an Encolurium orwinii back there. Nice individual here. Nice colony. There's those seed capsules. Mean-ass bromeliads. Mean-ass dryland bromeliads. Look at how thin those leaf blades are. Jesus Christ. Covered in the teeth and the spines along the margin. There's a Trixis right there, a very sticky Trixis we've been seeing. And over here is a member of Malvaceae, the genus Pseudobombax, which the flowers are withering right now. They're pollinated at night by bats. Perfect size for a bat. We heard a lot of bats out last night. Very beautiful. Look at the shape of those ovaries. Look at that. You see there's the old calyx right there. It's like a fused little cup. There's the old flower. Oh, the ants are going nuts on these things. Pseudobombax is cool. Of course, stem succulent, leafless and dormant right now. Oh, look at that. So that's what that ovary. See, there's the ovary right there. The flower's already gone. The style's persistent. Presuming it got pollinated, it'll later swell. Ah, that's wild, man. So that thing will swell to 20 times its size and there'll be a fruit with a bunch of seeds inside. Makes a lot of sense to flower in the dry season. Less competition for pollinators. Got a monopoly on flowering, on pollination rather. Yeah, there you go. See, that's how big the buds are when they go off. Oh yeah, see, that's not the fruit maturing right there. That's the unopened flower. So this thing will open in a day or two. See that? Those tepals recurve. I guess they're petals, because that's technically the calyx, that little cup. So that's the maturing bud that'll open soon. That's the maturing bud that'll open soon. And right there, you got an ovary maturing, which will mature into a fruit. Style's persistent. Stamens and petals are already gone. Oh, what a cool genus. Some of them can be trees. Pseudobombax. Look at that. Look at that Lichnophora. Just member of the Lichnophora group. I don't think that's the genus. You could look at that. Look at those Asteraceae heads. It's Asteraceae, desert Asteraceae, desert tree Asteraceae. Well, not really a desert. It's very wet here in summer, but seasonally dry tropical scrub. Now, what the shit is this? Look at this. These woolly stems. Is it Asteraceae? Ah, fuck. The leaves kind of seem like it. Drought deciduous succulent stems. It's a tree. It's a large tree. Jesus Christ. No idea. Look at that bark. What a cool branching pattern, like a candelabra, behind the candelabra. About Liberace. You ever see that movie? It's pretty good. Who is that? Al Pacino's in that? Look at that fuzzy bud. Is that a fuzzy veg bud or a fuzzy flowering bud? Protecting those growth points. God, that's cool. Look at it. There's the Camptosema, like two individuals, multiple stemmed. Of course, you got your Pilosocereus, fulvilanatus. 4 ribs to that guy. Toupee up top. Spines on the ridges. So much biodiversity. That's a Cisalpinoid pea. That's a Chamacrista, I believe, with glaucous leaves. Had legume fruits on it. More Valosia. Epic biodiversity. Epic dryland biodiversity. Look at this. Member of Malvaceae. It should be obvious from those, not only the leaves, but also from those flowers. Multiple stamens surrounding that hollow column that the style is poking out of. Is that a bee-pollinated flower, it looks like? Probably. Look at all the trichomes, stellate trichomes on the calyx, on the epicalyx too, which hibiscus also has, which is in the same family. Yeah, just a little, look, and no leaves for 90% of the branching. Probably got a semi-succulent stem. Pavonia is the genus. There's those fruits, a dry capsule. A dry capsule that splits open along, what is that, 5 margins? Or yeah, it looks like 5 inside there. You get the superior ovary, of course, because it's sitting there in that calyx. And of course, glandular as hell. Of course, sticky as hell. Yeah, you like the cephalium on Discocactus with the little toupee? Just keeps producing flowers out of there rather than out of the areoles. That way it can stay flat and low to the ground. Doesn't have to keep growing up. You gotta watch out. There's little Discocactus everywhere. God, it's such a fragile habitat here. Tread softly. Look where you step. See, there's little guys. just want to see what this succulent tree is. That thing right there. 'Cause I got a feeling it's Asteraceae. Oh, you got a senna in bloom. Look at those distinct banana-shaped anthers. Doing a similar thing to Melastomataceae. You got a reward anthers in the back providing feeder pollen, plus some staminodes, and you got those main anthers, porocidal, that dust the pollinator's underside with the pollen. There's a style right there in the center too. And there's those leaves, big glaucous leaves. That's a hell of a senna, Jesus Christ. Oh, here you go, there's a Stellingia euphorbiaceae. You know, Stellingia aquatica from the southeastern United States. Here's a desert one. See that narrow spike. Lanceolate leaves. Tiny, tiny flowers. Oh, look at this. You got an opuntioid down there. In the genus Tasinga. It's a little prickly pear, Opuntia subfamily. This is really cool. This is a obviously bird dispersed stick euphorbia. Much like our, oh shit, oops, I didn't mean to bruise it. I gotta wipe that shit off. That stuff can be really toxic, that latex. Much like our Euphorbia antisyphilitica in South and West Texas. There's those ovaries, those fruits, dispersed by birds. Oh, there's a crazy driver. That's nice. Get quite a bit of that. Look at those flowers too. Jesus Christ. Look at all the nectar. Look at those cyathial bracts. Red cyathial bracts on it, cyathium. Looks like a staminate flower. Of course, we got our Velociaceae still. So lots of rock, thin soils. There's basically no soil here. It's just sand. That's what enables succulent plants to outcompete anything else. Nothing else can really thrive here. I'm surprised this Trixis came. Jesus Christ, it's glandular as hell though. Very sticky. Here's this apostanaceous thing. You could tell by those fruits, those follicles, those dry follicles that split open and release those seeds that have a comb on them, just like milkweeds. There's the leaves. See, we've been seeing it in a lot of the dry or rocky outcroppings around Minas Gerais. Look at that leaf though. Only one of them. Well, I guess there's two. You got opposite leaves coming out of that shortened, almost non-existent stem there. Look at the red margins too. Beautiful venation. Now look, it's a little baby euphorbia germinating. Not germinating, but you know, looks like it had some dieback. Only a few years old. And there's these parent plants. God, look at that. It's a bunch of green straws. Ah, that's cool. Milo cactus. That's one that hasn't produced a cephalium yet. It's little fez. Let's go find one with a fez. There you go. There's a Milo with a fez. That's nice. You get a lot of Milo cactus diversity in the Caribbean too. Only other place I've seen it's Dominican Republic. You get it in Puerto Rico. You get it in Cuba. So that cephalium they got, that fez, is basically a shortened, non-photosynthetic stem that just keeps producing flowers out of buds, out of areoles. So it doesn't have to keep getting bigger, you know. Otherwise, you know, you got to produce more stem every time you want a flower. You got to produce more areoles, and so that the way around that is to just create this structure, which is not photosynthetic and is just really dense with trichomes protecting the growth points, and then just keep putting out tiny flowers. It's not flowering right now, but the flowers just poke out of that spiral arrangement of trichomes and buds. And then the fruits, which look like little pink or red chili peppers, are encased in those trichomes once the ovary matures upon pollination. Look at Camptosema. Look at the flushing, the flushing red pigments on it, on those leaves. I think it's just hanging in there, waiting for the summer rain. Look at that. Growing in the shade, you got more of that orthophytum, gabagulens. It's growing in the shade with all the detritus, the dead leaves of the shrub above it, which I believe is Malpighiaceae. Nothing flying right now. Oh, there's a fruit. Oh yeah, definite Malpighiaceae. Looking like a maple samara, but still with those glands persisting. You could see the glands. You could see them on a flower when they're in bloom. But anyway, there's a philodendron adamantium. You got an aroid. A seasonally dry, adapted aroid. Look, just sending roots out everywhere. All over that rock. We seen one last night on top of a cliff that had like 9-foot long tentacle roots just sprawling everywhere. How does it do it? How does it hang in there? Normally think of aroids as, the thing for collectors and, they get a nice place in office buildings and people's apartments. But you don't think of them as being adapted to growing lithophytically on a rock outcropping in a seasonally dry tropical cactus scrublands. And look at this sedge down there. Look at that. Another species of Liganocarpus. Is that the same, or is it the same one we've seen? It's just growing bigger since it's growing in a little nook where water persists longer, where it's got more shade, or what? It's a goddamn sedge. Look at that. Up to 4 foot long leaf blades. And I can see the inflorescence behind that cactus. See that? Those dangling spikes. And who's this? This succulent bastard. Is that another pseudobombax like the one behind it? Or is it something else? Drought deciduous succulent stems. Look at that. How do you do that? How do you grow on a rubble pile of black sandstone made black from that lichen when it's so goddamn hot all the time? How deep do those roots go down too? I will say it's kind of weird though. I'm not seeing that much melocactus, and it is prized by collectors. I wonder if it's getting poached at all. Maybe just locals poaching it for their gardens. Who knows, man? Oh, I wish it wasn't the dormant season. This thing looks so cool. I'm so curious what it is. With those fuzzy cotton swab buds. Ah, that's so fucking marvelous. It's the largest tree here. The most conspicuous, tallest growing thing here. You got trichomes on that flake and bark too. Very distinct bark texture. And those magnificent coriaceous leaves. That's a dead leaf, it looks like. It's just waiting to dehiss, waiting to fall off, to abscise. Oh, that's a beautiful Pilosocereus. Look at that. God damn it. You got 5 ribs on that. I think a very between 4 and 5. Look at little toupee. Those are just flower buds beneath that, just so it can flower without the flowers roasting in the sun. Look, a little melocactus hiding beneath the Encolerium irwinii, and there's one getting ready to flower. Nice habitat for that euphorbia too. Jesus Christ, that is such a beautiful plant. Yeah, look, it's not flowering yet, but getting ready to unopened buds. You can see those bracts, those recurved bracts, subtending the flowers. Look at that big spike. It'll produce thousands of seeds once they get pollinated. Thin leaves, teeth all along the margin with the shit, those saw teeth. You got trichomes in the center, making the center of the plant almost white. And then green distally. The whole thing just covered in wax and trichomes further down. What a mean but beautiful plant. These dryland bromeliads will get you, man. They're so cool. Look at it. God damn it. Another little seedling. Somebody lost their hat. You got this rubiaceous thing. Rubiaceae being so diverse in the tropics. Of course, you're going to have ones that are adapted to the dryland areas in the tropics. Still got those opposite leaves. I'm sure you have interpetiolar stipules, and you've got that 4-petaled, somewhat tuberous flower. There's a little tube shape. If you look at it closely, yeah, see that? Anyway, it's hot as balls, and I'm gonna have to check out here and get an icy drink somewhere. That's all I got. Have a good rest of your afternoon, evening, morning, whatever shit. Go fuck yourself. Bye.